Hello guys, welcome back to Top Man Sid. It's been a while. Well, no, it's not. Well, it's been more than a while than it should have been. Seems that I keep on uploading on Tuesday. That's coincidental. I wasn't supposed to, of course, upload on another Tuesday. Is because I was on a holiday. Yes, a mini holiday, and I still was able to watch the match on the day it was supposed to be on Saturday. But of course it took me a while to gather my thoughts, come back from that mini road trip and get back to uploading again. And of course you don't really have the biggest motivation sometimes to do it on a trip, on a hotel, upload a video, record one, when the team you just bloody lost. We're just crap, mate. Realistically we just are. So yeah, apologies. I'll try and get back to the schedule of uploading a day after the matches. Let me just adjust my microphone. So excuse me if I'm a bit rusty. But yeah, I think you guys, considering it's been a couple of days, finally I've adjusted my microphone. So yeah, back onto it. Yeah, considering you guys probably watched the match already, I'm just gonna go through, not by chronological order. I'm just gonna go and just explode my thoughts down, because it's happened again. It's happened again. We've struggled to break down a team that is probably going to be fighting for relegation. Break down a team, hard to break down. To be fair, give credit where credit's due. Crystal Palace were very good at making the blocks, doing the counter attack, performing the game plan that Roy Hodgson wanted it to. It's a one-trick pony, but for some reason we just couldn't handle it. We fell right into their hands, and it helps when we don't make use of our chances once more. So yeah, speaking of missing chances, one person who's probably not having had any chances taken properly is Lingard, and Lingard's been the subject of much talk around United Twitter. For good reason, I think. In my opinion, I agree. My patience is wearing thin. Very much so is wearing thin with Lingard. I like him. I respect him. I think he has good talent. We've seen him do it for England. We've seen him hit his peak for Mourinho. He was so good under Mourinho. So good. I think Mourinho really got the best out of him, not just in terms of working hard for him, pressing, but also getting the shots off, making the dribbles, but also finishing them. But now he's just falling off. He's just fallen off. No excuse of a World Cup. Now he's got to perform. And realistically, the only reason he's starting games is because you haven't got a good enough midfielder from the transfer window, like Dybala could have been, or Bruno Fernandes could have been. The only reason he's starting is because the backup he's got is older than him, and that's quite a matter. That's the only position that can be filled from that player. Not enough good quality in that in that area. I can't really speak. The first game, he just missed a crap chance. I think I said in the previous video. Check out my previous reviews if you haven't. If you just jump in onto this series, this is where I just talk about my favourite team, Manchester United. As you see, it's hard out here supporting them. It really is. It's hard out here. It plays with your heart. Like me, just holding my phone on my hotel bed, just begging for some semblance of quality. And that's what Lingard's not providing in 2019. The stats speak for itself. You can search it yourself. And I really hope he improves, because realistically, until January, we've got no chance. But that kind of creativity, especially when you need something like that, a spark, especially someone who can pick out a pass. Oh, Pogba can do that, but he's playing defensively, isn't he? Playing a bit further back to try and get the ball. It works when you're counter-attacking. The team is suited to that style, but not to this style, not to this breaking down. And it's hard. I know it's hard. I respect. And after the game, I was just calming down my emotions, just thinking of it as it's gonna happen. It's a young team. Apparently, it's the youngest average team in the Premier League. We're gonna have to learn from this, and we have to learn from this. But it just is frustrating when you've seen this happen over and over again. Of course, for previous managers also. Just need a little bit of creativity. Pogba's not getting the ball enough in high areas. We need to have a plan B. I know it's hard. I know. We need to master plan A before we can get to plan B. but we just need some good subs. That's where the subs come in, to bring a little bit of dynamic playing and a new style to play. If our common system's not working, it just seems like we were just Groundhog Day. It was just seemed like Groundhog Day. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it just wasn't coming. It just wasn't coming good. Wasn't coming good. We just kept on missing shots, taking lots of shots. We took 22 shots compared to like 8 or something from Crystal Palace, but we got the same amount of shots and targets. Same amount of shots on target as Crystal Palace. 3 shots for both, even though we had like 20 more shots than them. How is that possible then? Do you know why? Because Crystal Palace had a game plan. They were more clinical in this league, and if you're clinical, you'll punish the opposition. If you're not clinical, you'll get punished. That's how it works. That's what some of these players have a lot of pressure to do because of the lack of business in the transfer market. Lingard had the pressure. He's not performing right now. Hopefully, it's the start, early days. Hopefully, he can perform. Martial and Rashford. Rashford needs to, don't know, consider if he's good at free kicks. But of course, we haven't seen that in a long time. I think, yeah, Juan Mata. That's where he could have come in. Martial and Rashford are doing decent, but again, it only works. Only getting their foot in, counter-attacking wise. Couldn't get any service. Now Martial's risking injury now, isn't he? 17-year-old Mason Greenwood comes on as backup if Martial, of course, is injured. Hopefully Sanchez stays, but we have Greenwood coming on 55th minute because 17. He's good, mate. I'm 17. He's better than me, but realistically, this is Premier League. We need to get top 4 here. The fantasy football's not working out. Started so well. I was topping all the leagues. My boys are letting me down. United boys are letting me down. But hopefully, it's something we can sort out. Maybe get Llorente in the transfer market. Why not? We need someone like him. Free agent. Offer something different. We can go long. Pogba can pick out those passes to him. But of course, even then, it's pretty difficult when there's banks of 4 everywhere. But of course, you can never fault a team for doing that. You have to expect this. You have to be wary of this. You have to know this is going to happen. That's the trick of a manager, being resourceful, tactical. You have to recognize this is going to happen. You can't just be naive in that sense. And Ole was a bit naive with his substitutions last week, as people were pointing out. Here, I think he did pretty well in sending Lingard out pretty quickly after the second half. People said Lingard should be sent off the pitch ages before that, actually. But just calm down, give him a chance. But Mason Greenwood, that brings me back to him. It's like too much pressure on the guy. Too much pressure in a situation that we're not the best in, not the best situation to thrive in. But we give chances, and maybe this is the making of the man. Couldn't even get much of the ball. Not really much of our attackers can get much of the ball in the first half, especially. And when we did, we just took pointless shots that wouldn't go anywhere. And then eventually, one ball over the top from Crystal Palace. The ball drops into Ayu's hands, and he finishes it. With so much space out of nowhere. So simple, so soft physicality from Lindelof. Maguire was as surprised as I am. Just could only ball watch as he witnesses Ayew just take his time, have all the time in the world to finish that chance. And it was 1-0 to Crystal Palace in the first half. And from then on, I was like, here we go again. Ah, shit, here we go again. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happened. Of course, Lindelof and Maguire still easing things out. They showed great potential in the previous 2 games. This is obviously one mistake that it could have been avoided, but it wasn't like the end of the world or anything. Like, you know what I mean? I still give them the benefit of the doubt because Lindelof's been so good, and technically Maguire, of course, thumping headers. But of course, Lindelof could learn stuff from Maguire in terms of physicality. But of course, you need to just have backup for that, you know what I mean? And hopefully they ease some of those mistakes out, because they've shown great potential, and it's early days again for that partnership. So you can't expect it to be perfect right away, and that's what some people lack understanding of in the modern game. I think most modern fans, or maybe modern pundits, or the whole atmosphere is like you want to have performances straight off the bat. Like, it's not a TV show, it doesn't work like that. These are proper human beings and need to ease into these roles. But to be fair, one of the players who has eased into the role pretty nicely is Daniel James as a right winger, of course. Again, he's injecting a lot of pace, but this time less effective. But of course, he's still learning. Big jump from the Championship to Premier League, and he's handling it pretty well. But the problem is that the way we're using him, I think if he comes on as a sub, I think he could be even more impactful. He's already impactful at the end of the games when players are tired, and he has that extra yard of pace to get that finesse on point for that equaliser. Of course, before that it was like 40-50 minutes of Groundhog Day again, just constantly just not getting anywhere. But once our players started playing the football we knew they could, tiki-taka, one touch, fast moving football that could break teams apart, Pogba did well to, of course, lose the ball. Of course, he lost the ball first. No, he didn't do well to lose the ball. He lost the ball, but then he showed the work rate to get the ball back. Of course, probably partly out of frustration. Got the ball back, passed it to Martial. Martial on the edge of the box, passed it to James, finesses it in the top right hand corner. That's what we like to see. And because again, no squad depth, we have to kind of start Daniel James and give him that run of form. When reality, if we should be having like a more experienced right winger, and then bring Daniel James on the bench. But we can't do that because you don't have the necessary means for that. So we have to start Daniel James, and he's handling the pressure pretty well, to be fair. But again, he's more effective at the end of games, so he theoretically should be a really good sub. But again, who knows? Maybe he'll start to score even more goals in the middle or the start of matches as his confidence even grows even better. And the fact that he scored 2 goals in 2, probably more so goals than Lukaku against top 6 sides. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? And of course, the good thing about Daniel James, he's versatile. He can play striker and left wing, makes him good as a sub as well. But at this point, at this way, I wouldn't be surprised if we played this ex-championship player up top, knowing our depth in numbers. But of course, some players have the means to have the mental capacity to, of course, play for Manchester United when it's needed, regardless of the situation. Scott McTominay's done that pretty well, but here he was quite ineffective. He made a few interceptions as he usually does, but again, didn't really work out because we had to break down teams. We had to have that creativity in the midfield as well as the attack to try and break through this solid back line. But of course, with only Pogba being the only creative midfielder, there's little chance he could do carrying the rest of the team on his shoulders, as he always does. So it was 1-1. Daniel James, of course, celebrating hugely. Who can blame him? He's young. This is his first time at home at Old Trafford scoring an equaliser that could potentially get them points and rescue the team from humiliation. With all due respect to Crystal Palace, so you can't blame him for celebrating much. But of course, looking back, obviously you can say, "Oh, why are you celebrating equalising against Crystal Palace?" It does show how far we've probably fallen. But of course, if it was anyone else, obviously you'd question it. But Daniel James, you can understand his point of view on that. Of course, then Martial grabbed him and was like, let's get back playing. Let's go. Let's get that second goal. Not for us, for Crystal Palace. Because, of course, we drop off again and mental capacity drops. We get 2 ahead of ourselves. And then Crystal Palace back on the break again. Final few minutes. De Gea, man. I thought he was back to his best when I saw him in the first 2 games of this season again. After last season. But come on, man. I know there was a lot of pace on the shot from Van Aanholt, and the bullshit we got there in the first place. Pogba loses concentration, and then the rest of the team follows through, because apparently when Pogba plays well, everyone else plays well. When he plays crap, everyone just plays crap again. How's that work then? But of course, yeah, that allows Van Evan Van On. Oh, I can't really speak name. I can't really know what's going on. I can't. Let's be honest. I kind of forgot what happened in the game. To be honest, it's all blur now. Yeah. So Pogba loses the ball. I think. Correct me if I'm chatting. The ball gets past the defense again on the left hand side, the right hand side, with Ashley Young as full back or something. I don't even know. Ashley Young was decent, I guess, as a replacement for Shaw. That didn't help the situation for the game either. To be fair, Ashley Young did decent at left back. I think he could be. He's more decent at left back than right back, Ashley Young, but not necessarily the best person you want when you want to overturn a deficit. He got turned a few times by Zaha. Unlucky, mate. What can you do? What can you do again? Strength in numbers once more. I keep on referring back to that. I know I'm just basically going subliminal. I can't even speak. Subliminal. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Do you know what? It might feel like I'm a mess just blurting out messages, indirect messages that we should be just going for transfers for every like major 80 million pound player. No, I'm not doing that. I just want strength in numbers, backup plans, or dynamic ways of playing that can break through defenses like this, which will happen a lot in this season. That will happen a lot. People will park the bus against us. No reason why they can't. And teams will see this and they'll be like, this is great. You can do this against Manchester United and win. No. No. That shouldn't be happening. De Gea. The ball goes. He goes through him. Why is he doing that then? It's cost us points again. I'm gonna give him the benefit. Dan, obviously, another player, because he's done it for 6 years, but now he's falling off a bit. He's not concentrating. And maybe it's hard to keep that level of concentration of carrying the team for so many years, and now, of course, I don't think it's getting to him now. So he needs to fix up on that point. But the ball shouldn't have been put there in the first place in that position. The fullback's not the greatest. Actually, no. Well, strength in numbers again. So the ball shouldn't have been there in the first place. So it's not 100% his fault, but it is 60% his fault. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I've got. I'm all done now. Hopefully we can learn from this. And if the board had some good sense about them, they'd send scouts right now. They have good scouts working out our options for January already. Maddison, why not? Or Bruno Fernandes, who we should have got. They could have provided the spark we needed against these teams. But hopefully the team we got now can learn from it. Hopefully Martial's back from his injury. If not, Alexis Sanchez will be needed, and he better stay if that's the case. Even if Martial's not injured, maybe we should just consider keeping Sanchez. Maybe even get Llorente as a free agent. Why not? Provides something. Plan B. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I'll try to be earlier with the next match against Southampton. We've been let off in the league. We're still 5th. We've been let off there because of Tottenham being screwed over as well in the similar manner against Newcastle and other teams as well. Dropping points already. So we're 5th right now. So we've been given sort of a lifeline. Let's try and get back in the top 4 and just stay there. I know it will probably go up and down most likely, but let's just treat this as a positive that we're still 5th. Let's go again. Southampton. Let's learn from our mistakes. I think we're at home again. I'm not sure. Ole, you got a lot of work to do. You're still working it out, but I believe in your vision of attacking football. But let's try and get a plan B in there, because plan A hasn't been mastered enough that you can just do that all the time. If your plan A is not the strongest right now, you need a plan B at least. So yeah, that's how it works. But I still believe in Ole. Hashtag Ole out. No, you're dumb. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you made it to the video. I would massively appreciate it as well. Forgot to say that.